My name is Gardy. I have a guest, Sergeant Christie, here in studio. I'm going to kick this on the FM, and we're going to be sharing about Toys for Tots, how you can get involved, and a lot more. Here we go. Good morning. This is KHEA Radio, 99.5 FM. Right now it's 8:57, almost 9 o'clock on a Monday, and I have a guest that's hanging out in studio. I'm going to let him introduce himself, and we're going to find out everything that he has going on. Good morning. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing great, and good morning. My name's Sergeant Christie. I'm the Galveston, South Harris County Toys for Tots coordinator for 2022, and I'm just really excited about Toys for Tots this year, getting a lot of community involvement, and really seeing everything that people have to offer and want to get involved, which is phenomenal.
Yeah, so Toys for Tots, if somebody hasn't heard of it, which I'm going to say it's kind of hard, or you can kind of guess what it is, but Toys for Tots, what is it, and who's it for? So
Toys for Tots is for children of the less fortunate, and it's a really simple thing if people want to get involved, and it's super easy. If you have a business or someone even a church that wants to be a donation site, you can request on the Toys for Tots website. Everything's ran through the Toys for Tots website. So if you want to get involved, volunteer your time as a person or as an agency, you can feel free to. And really all it is giving new unopened toys back to less fortunate children so that they can have a Merry Christmas that every children deserves.
Yeah, before we went on air, you were even talking like, hey, if you can get your kids toys, why not just pick up one extra item, right?
Right, absolutely. And that's the thing. It's so simple and it's so easy to do. And the children in our community, the children in the area, they deserve it. If you can't tell me a children that deserves a Merry Christmas, then I don't know, really what you're doing. But every kid deserves a Merry Christmas.
Yes. So Sergeant Christie, we got hooked up with you through our friends at the United Way.
Yes.
Leslie, so shout out to the United Way. And y'all work with them in what kind of way?
So absolutely, it's more of a logistical and organization.
KHEA Radio, and get that link. KHEA Radio, and get that link right there as well. And
hey, what's going on with this Toys for Tots box? Then you tell them, hey, all you have to do put a toy in there, and then that goes to help a child in the local area. Something else that you can do, you can volunteer to, your own time or a group's own time to help me and help my team out. Something else you can do is host an event. Something that's new is that Shriners Hospital giving toys to those kids, so they signed up. They said, hey, we'd love to have some Marines there to give toys to these children. More than happy to do that. And then agency requests, right? So you can sign up to receive toys. So if you're a church, a nonprofit, anything, what have you, you can sign up, via that. And even if you're just a family in need that needs toys, you can sign up to do that as well.
Yes. And I think now's the time, and I love that y'all are promoting this right now. We're kind of, in this, it's crazy. We're almost at the end of this year, but October, then November and December, Christmas is going to be here before we know it.
Right.
Yeah. So now's the time to start making plans, letting people know, hey, you can get involved, Toys for Tots. And are these going to be helping, I guess, local kids, local children?
Right. So it's the Galveston and South Harris County area. So Toys for Tots really divvies up, parts of the state, parts of the United States into different Toys for Tots regions and different coordinators. So there's different coordinators for each site, and they all get, the same information that I've got. They all have their own website. So even if you're in a different area and you heard about, Galveston, South Harris County Toys for Tots, and you're in a different area, you can go onto the toysfortots.org website, the main one, and find out which website you should be a part of or which region you should be a part of. So please do that. Please, please, please do that. It's only going to a better cause. It's only going to help out, children in need. So that's something that's super easy that I get a lot of questions. A lot of times they'll reach out to me, and all I have to do is point them in the right direction or point them towards the right program so that they can either, receive toys or so that they can give back.
Yeah. So why did you choose to be involved in this organization at all, working with Toys for Tots?
So in 2020, I got to help out the coordinator, and a local business decided that he really wanted to purchase a lot of bicycles. And so in 2020, I got to witness and help out the 2020 coordinator a lot. And I got to, see and help and give out bikes to children, and just the look on their faces of, oh my gosh, this is my first bike, just to see how happy and how grateful those kids and those parents were. That's something in itself. And so seeing that and seeing how simple it is to do this and to help out kids in the area, it kind of inspired me. And it's really a simple thing. I'm just bringing the community together, bringing people together, and saying, hey, let's do something great.
Do y'all have a goal or anything for this year?
So last year we serviced over 8,000 kids in need.
Wow, that's a lot.
Right.
8,000 kids.
Yep.
Okay.
So 8,000 kids and families, and this year I'd love to do over 20,000. Really expanding our reach, getting out in the community, doing things like this so that people can be aware of it, and they can see what's going on, see the great things that are going on in their community. I'd really, really like to do 20,000, and that's what we're pushing for this year.
Yeah, 8,000, that's a lot. With the 20,000 kids, that's a great goal. But what's crazy is that there's more out there who could benefit from this program. So if there was like 50,000, the kids are there.
Absolutely,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely, and that's the thing. Toys for Tots reaches millions of kids and families each year, and that's the thing. With poverty and the amount of kids and parents that need toys and receive toys, we're there, and that's really why I'm here, is to get the word out and to service those kids, because they deserve it. At the end of the day, they deserve it. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, so just a reminder, the website, you can go to galveston-tx.toysfortots.org, galveston-tx.toysfortots.org. But what I did to find that, all you have to do is search Galveston Toys for Tots, and then that'll be the first link that pops up. So if you can't remember the website, just Galveston Toys for Tots, and it'll pop up. Or you can just go to KHEA Radio's Facebook and hit the link that's in the description. We're talking to Sergeant Christie. Where are you originally from? How did you end up down here, and with this life?
So I'm originally from Iowa. I'm from a small town. From one end to the other is about 10 minutes. Graciously enough, the Marine Corps blessed me, giving me orders down here in 2020, and I never thought I'd end up down here, but I am here, and it's a great thing. I'm glad to be in Texas. I'm happy to be in Texas. And that's just something I never thought that the Marine Corps would be able to do for me. I never thought I'd end up here, but I am.
Yeah, and then you've had opportunities like this to give back and just, I guess, you live a life of service.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of the things that the Marine Corps and Toys for Tots has been doing for 75 years. It's our 75th anniversary, and I saw it as an opportunity to give back in more ways than one. And it's a lot of networking. It's a lot of just talking to local businesses, local communities, and the more people you talk to, the more people that are going to want to help out and give back. And it's just a really way to get involved and give back to your community.
What's that history? Why did the Toys for Tots start? How did that even come about?
So the idea of Toys for Tots began in 1947 with the Marine Corps Reserve Major Bill Hendricks. Major Hendricks' wife, Diane, was an inspiration behind the program, and she asked Major Hendricks to deliver a few handcraft dolls to an agency that supported children in need. And when Major Hendricks reported back to his wife that he couldn't really find an agency for dolls and toys to, simply just give back to the kids, her response was simply, let's start one.
Mm-hmm.
Why is there not one already? And after that, it's absolutely taken off, and now we have what we have today, is this nationwide Toys for Tots.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's funny as it is, it's super simple, and that's how it started. Just one wife's great idea of Major Bill Hendricks. His wife said, hey, this is something that nobody's doing that we could easily do. And now they're serving over millions of kids throughout the U.S.
Sometimes it just takes an idea, and ideas are great, but the even more important is the action.
Right.
The action behind it. And I like that they looked, hey, is there somebody else doing this? Because, sometimes we'll get these organizations and they're doing the same thing, which is great. They're serving different areas, but it's like, man, if we work together, we can probably cover more ground. Absolutely.
And that's why really, really good thing is that Toys for Tots divvies up each state and county to a coordinator, right? So each, county has a coordinator, and sometimes coordinators have multiple counties, like myself and like Houston. They have multiple counties so that way they can service even more children. And the more people that get involved, the more toys, the more donations go out to kids. Every donation, since, we're on that subject, every donation goes to children in need. It isn't, it's not for something or other. That is what it's for.
Yeah. This is a kind of random question, but not too much. Is there a Christmas present that you got growing up that you remember that sticks out as like the number one thing as a kid?
I can't quite narrow it down to one, but I remember growing up when the Razor scooters were super cool. That's what I got. I definitely banged up my shins quite a few times, but that was something that I really enjoyed, and I didn't know it at the time, but getting toys from Toys for Tots. I was one of those kids, and I was gracious enough to get those, but I know it at the time, but now, again, it's just another way that's came full circle so I can give back.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, did you have places to ride it in Iowa where you grew up?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Every street, as long as it wasn't dark out, that was kind of the thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. In my head, I'm just seeing like the corn, like this like corn, just Iowa, just like grassy, just fields, and just going down a dirt road on the razor, having the time of your life.
Yeah, absolutely. It's great people, great fun out there, and it's just, it's a slower pace, but just something that really comes full circle. It is nationwide, and it just goes to show you.
Yeah, so that's the goal. 20,000 kids help this Christmas season. You can go to galveston-tx.toysfortots.org. Make sure that you get involved and pass this along to anybody else. We've talked about this. Is there anything else that you'd like to share?
Yeah, one last thing is everybody who has reached out to me, everybody that's, signed up to either be a donation site or help me in any way, shape, or form, I just want to say thank you. The kids of this area deserve it, and the kids of this area see it. But lots of times, people don't get, the huge notice. But from me as the Toys for Tots coordinator, I want to say thank you to everybody who's helped out in one way or another, big or small. Even if you're just putting a drop box out in your, front office, thank you, because it's going to kids in need, and it's giving kids those toys they deserve for Christmas. And again, a big thank you, United Way. They've been huge help for us this year, and looking forward to impacting, this area and doing it again.
Yeah, United Way is an awesome organization. Make sure you look into them. United Way, Galveston County, Mainland, that's like our local chapter, I think is what they call it. But they have these partner agencies that they work with,
right?
And they're they take these funds and disperse them, and they give these grants, and it's just a great organization.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you.
Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
It's KHEA Radio, 99.5 FM.